Hello students, welcome to the class. In today's class I am going to explain magnetism in matter. You know why matter possesses magnetism? The reason is very simple. Reason for magnetism of matter: orbital and spin motion of electrons. Orbital and spin motion of electrons can create magnetic field in a matter. So according to Oersted, every moving charged particle as well as current carrying element produces magnetic field. For example, if I take a circular loop carrying some current I, then this loop can produce magnetic field. The ability of this loop to produce magnetic field is given by magnetic moment. Its measurement is given by that I current into area of the loop. This is the measure of magnetic moment of this loop. Right? Its units are, this is ampere, this is meter square. Ampere into meter square are the units of this. This is a vector quantity, magnetic moment. Its direction is given by this right hand thumb rule. You can apply this right hand thumb rule to know the direction of magnetic moment of this current carrying loop. Just you have to close the four fingers of right hand in the direction of this current, then this thumb can give direction of magnetic moment. So you can apply this, that the direction of magnetic moment is that perpendicular to the plane of this loop and radially outside, like this. You can say this is the normal of this plane of the loop. Now its direction, I into A is the magnitude of magnetic moment into n cap. It gives direction. Similar to this, for example, this is the orbit in which an electron is revolving. This orbit radius is r. The time period of revolution of this electron is t. Then its magnetic moment. This revolving electron also can produce magnetic field. That ability is given by its magnetic moment. Based on this equation, I, the current corresponding to this revolving electron is charge per unit time, E by its time period of revolution. Area of this orbit is pi r square. This is the magnitude of magnetic moment of this revolving electron. Now this electron produces magnetic field. It acts, this revolving electron acts as a tiny magnet. Remember this? Now if it is the atom, it has some electrons. Those electrons revolve around the nucleus in different orbits. Right? Now every electron possesses its own magnetic moment in specific direction. So the whole this atom magnetic moment, the magnetic moment of this total atom due to revolution of all these electrons in different orbits is given by the vector sum of magnetic moment of all those electrons. Right? The electrons magnetic moment vectorial sum is equal to magnetic moment of this whole atom. Simply we can say this atom behaves like a small magnet. It behaves like a small magnet. Its magnetic moment we can say dipole, atomic dipole moment. Or you can say this atom as atomic dipole. Generally it is represented with a circle with an arrow. Arrow indicates the direction of dipole moment of this atom. So this is the atomic dipole. Now for example, if it is the substance with large number of atoms. These are the atoms. If they have a finite dipole moment, the orientation of dipole moments may be different in directions. The orientation is random. Because of random orientation, the magnetic moment of all these atoms gets cancelled each other. So the net magnetic moment of this whole substance is 0. Reason is magnetic moment of one atom is cancelled with magnetic moment of other atomic dipole moment. So that is why the whole substance magnetic moment is 0. To give some magnetic moment to this substance, we need to place this substance inside external field. I'll keep this substance in some external field. See here, listen carefully. I am going to keep this substance in an external magnetic field. This is the external magnetic field. It can be represented by H, and because of that external field, this atomic dipoles will experience torque and they try to rotate parallel to the direction of the field. Because of that torque, that alignment of atomic dipoles will be parallel to this field. So the net magnetic moment of this substance is now non-zero. So we have given some magnetic moment with the help of this external field. So giving some magnetization to this magnet in the form of this magnetic moment is called magnetization. So we have used this field. What is that? Magnetizing field. Magnetizing field vector. It is the external field which is used to give some magnetic moment to given substance. So it can convert a material into magnetic material. Clear? These atoms have rotated parallel to direction of the field because of the torque. The torque tried to bring the dipoles parallel to the field. So the net magnetic moment of these all the dipoles now non-zero. So it has now some magnetic moment. So you can say this substance is now magnetized. So to measure its magnetic moment per unit volume, we have some physical quantity that is called magnetization field vector. Magnetization field vector denoted by I. This is H, magnetizing field, external field used to convert a material into magnetic material. Now this is the magnetization which takes place inside this substance. Right? Now what is this magnetization vector? So the net magnetic moment of the substance by its volume, or you can say net magnetic moment acquired by this substance per unit volume. If it is the unit volume, its magnetic moment is numerically equal to magnetization. Clear? The magnetization vector is equal to magnetic moment of the substance per unit volume. Already we have written the units for this net magnetic moment or magnetic moment, ampere into meter square. Volume units are meter cube. So its units are ampere per meter. Clear? Magnetization. So now I am going to write relation between this magnetizing field vector and magnetization vector. Relation between H and I vectors. Now if I apply more field, there will be more magnetization, more number of atomic dipoles try to align parallel to the direction of this external field, thereby there is more magnetic momentum, so you will get more magnetization. Indirectly what I am saying is the magnetization of this substance is directly proportional to external magnetizing field, I directly proportional to H. So this proportionality constant is psi, that is called magnetic susceptibility. Magnetic susceptibility. So you can write that magnetic susceptibility is what? I by H. You can define this: if the applied external field is unit, then magnetic susceptibility numerically equal to I. It has no units. This susceptibility has no units. It is the just number, because these two physical quantities can have the same units, ampere per meter. It is the unitless physical quantity. So you can define it is the amount of magnetization acquired by this substance under unit external magnetizing field. If external field is unit, then amount of magnetization acquired by this substance is numerically equal to susceptibility. Clear? If this susceptibility is 2, what does it mean? If it is 2, it gives what? I is equal to 2 times of H. It means there will be 2 times of magnetization in this substance than external applied field. If this is 100, then there will be 100 times of magnetization in substance due to this field H. I is 100 times of H. This, if H and I are in the same direction, you can write this I bar is equal to psi H bar. If magnetization is in the same direction of H, if these two are in the same direction, this psi is positive. If these two are in opposite direction, it happens in the case of diamagnetic materials. In diamagnetic materials, this magnetization is in opposite direction to H. We will discuss that later in diamagnetic material. So it can be also negative. It can be positive or negative. Psi negative means magnetization is in opposite direction to magnetizing field. If psi is more, there will be more magnetization. Clear? For vacuum, you can see for vacuum, what is the value of that psi for vacuum? What is psi actually? I will write here for vacuum. In vacuum, there are no dipoles, no atoms in vacuum, no dipole moment, no atomic dipoles, no magnetic moment. If it is 0, I is 0, I means m by v, magnetic moment per unit volume, this is 0. If I is 0, psi is equal to I by H, so this is also 0. The susceptibility of vacuum is 0. Clear? Everything. Psi value positive, it can be positive or negative, or it can be 0 also. Now the net magnetic field inside this substance. Net magnetic field induction inside the substance. Now this is the substance placed in external magnetic field. This is the magnetizing field H. This is the magnetizing field H, and because of this H, these atoms try to align parallel to this direction of the field, and they acquire some magnetic moment, thereby some magnetization. So the total magnetic field induction, the induced magnetic field in this substance is directly proportional to H plus I. So this is the net magnetic field induction, induced magnetic field in this substance. It is due to two factors, external factor H and internal factor I, that is due to rotation of these dipoles parallel to the field. So this is very easier to remember. Now this net magnetic field induction of this substance is proportionality constant mu naught of H plus I. What is mu naught here? Mu naught is permeability of free space. Permeability of free space. What is permeability? The name itself it shows what? Ability to give the permission for this magnetic lines of force. Ability of this medium to give the permission for this magnetic lines of force. More permeability, this substance can allow this field easily. Clear? Or you can say that for vacuum, just now we have discussed, for vacuum I equal to 0, then the magnetic field net field induction in vacuum is mu naught H, or you can write this simply B naught. The magnetic field induction in vacuum is this. From this you can define mu naught. What is mu naught? B naught by H. If H is unit, if I apply unit external magnetizing field, then mu naught numerically equal to the net magnetic field induction in vacuum. So you can define the permeability is numerically equal to net magnetic field induction under unit external magnetizing field. Clear? Very easy. But mu naught value is equal to 4 pi into 10 power minus 7 Newton per ampere square. Remember this. We use this value frequently while solving the problems. That is the mu naught value, permeability of free space. Now similar to this, here you can see for a medium, so it possesses finite I, unlike to this. So based on this, this is for free space. Based on this, in certain medium you can write, instead of mu naught you can take mu into H. What is mu? Permeability of medium. Permeability of medium. You can define that permeability similar to this. If H is 1, then that permeability mu is equal to Bn when the field, external field is unit. That is the permeability. So you can say this is the relation number 1, this is the 2, this is 3. This equation shows what? Net magnetic field induction in a medium. This one also same, net magnetic field induction in medium in terms of H and I and mu naught. These three relations are important. Note these three relations. After that, from relation 1 and 3, these two represent a magnetic field induction in medium only. So from 1 and 3, mu naught of H plus I is equal to mu H. Write this H this side, then it gives, I am writing directly, or it implies mu equal to mu naught. Write this H separately for these two terms you will get. So 1 plus I by H. So therefore the permeability of a given medium is mu naught of 1 plus, this is psi, susceptibility, magnetic susceptibility. This is also another important relation. Permeability of medium in terms of this susceptibility. Next, relative permeability. What is relative permeability? It is the ratio of permeability of medium to permeability of free space. If you compare given medium permeability with free space permeability, that comparison can give relative permeability. So based on that, if you write this mu naught here, it gives mu. So from this equation relation 4, from 4 you can write mu by mu naught directly. I am writing here mu r is equal to 1 plus psi. That is the relation between relative permeability and magnetic susceptibility. And for vacuum psi is 0, so mu r is 1. For ferromagnetic materials, the psi is very greater than 1, so therefore mu r also very much greater than 1. For paramagnetic material, psi is greater than 1, so mu r also greater than 1. For diamagnetic material, psi is negative, less than 1, negative, and very small. It may be minus 0.3 like that. So mu r is, so if it is psi is if it is minus 0.6 for a diamagnetic material, then substitute this here. What do we get? 0.4, means that is less than 1, but it never be negative. For a diamagnetic material, relative permeability lies between 0 and 1. Clear? Now this susceptibility depends on what factors? Nature of this material and its temperature. We will discuss that later. Here once I will write all the formulae which we discussed today. What is magnetization? Vector I equal to net magnetic moment per unit volume. Clear? And B net magnetic field induction in a medium. B net equal to mu naught of this H plus I, or B naught is equal to mu naught H in free space, in medium mu H. These two are same, both are equal. And also we written that psi is equal to I by H and mu equal to mu naught. By equating these two, you will get mu equal to mu naught 1 plus psi, or the last relation mu r equal to 1 plus psi. These are the relations, remember. Or one more, this magnetic moment is equal to current into area.